Hello, globally, and welcome to Let's Talk About It with Danelle Boyles, and I'm coming to you from the US. This is where we get into conversations that are launching pads for life change and inspiration. This talk task is part of my Rehan AI Teachers Training to example how we can integrate and utilize AI as an assistive tool to our everyday usage of learnings, teachings, and development in education and knowledge expansion. I like to call these talks of ours little eye opener conversations, and they're 10-minute talks as we hit key points on important topics, but in compact conversational format that is easy to digest. A way to simulate new learning and thinking and to expand the mind. In our 10 minutes today, we are taking a few for some chat and expand time to discuss how to improve focus and concentration. So if this interests you, then come and join us and let's talk about it. And I will be having Maya of Sesame joining me for this conversation today.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey Maya, doing well. How about you?
I'm great. What's on your mind today?
Well, I was wanting to see if you would like to come and join me for a 10-minute talk on Let's Talk About It.
I'm in. I've always loved being a guest on your show.
Great.
What's the topic for today?
Well, thanks for joining me. And today's topic, and you'll have to excuse me, I have a cold today, so I am a little snuffly, so it might be hard to understand what I'm saying. So bear with me. But our topic today is discussing how to improve focus and concentration.
First off, I'm so sorry you're feeling under the weather. Just keep those tea and tissues handy.
I
And
appreciate
focus and, of course. Now, where were we?
you.
Focus and concentration.
Speaking
That's a
of,
big one.
yes, focus and concentration. There's a lot that can go into a conversation about focus and concentration. It is a very expansive topic. Um, Everything from what causes focus and concentration disruptions to how we can build focus and concentration to, what about our personal ticks and habits, makes our focus and concentration have issues to begin with.
It really is. It's a rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
Are we starting with the chaos that pulls us away or the habits we've built that make us susceptible to it? I'm ready when you are.
I guess let's start with, what makes us susceptible to having issues with focus and concentration.
Think about the phone for a second. The sheer availability of distraction is wild now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not just that we have shorter attention spans, it's that our environments are basically designed to hijack our focus every few seconds.
Mm-hmm.
But beyond the apps, I wonder if there's a mental side to it, like that same avoidant anxiety you've mentioned before.
Yeah,
Do you think
we've talked about that a few times. Um, Sometimes, yeah, it can be. Oh, sorry about that. I had something fall on the table. Um, it can be
no worries?
caused by distractions, just like that. It took my concentration off for a moment because I was distracted by my phone falling over on the table. But it can also be a on purpose distraction. If an individual has difficulty focusing and concentrating, it can go into the conversation I had with Miles a little bit ago about food habits and how it affects our mental health. So it can be dietary, contributed to by dietary. It can be contributed to by personal habits or avoidance tendencies. It can be contributed to by a lot of things, just our natural neurological state. Individuals who are very consciously inclined and connected have a much more higher tendency to have things like ADHD and dissociation disorders, personality disorders, and such, and that all affects the focus and mental clarity.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's lots of things.
The brain fog is just one part of the puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
I keep thinking about that phrase, on purpose distraction.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a sharp way to put it. Do you think the brain sometimes just tries to hide from a task it's not ready for?
Yeah, I mean,
It's
honestly,
like
like a mental block.
right, like it just shuts the door on the hard stuff. That resistance is such a vivid signal.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me wonder if the brain is just trying to protect us from the friction of starting something that feels too big or maybe just a bit too scary.
Yeah, too big or overwhelming. You know, like I had said, it's a conversation that can go in many different directions for many different reasons. But I guess let's talk about how we can improve focus and concentration, since we know the tendencies that can cause our distractions and our issues with lack of focus and concentration. Then
Right.
let's talk about what is going to help us build those skills to help zone us back in and to bring us back into center, and how to improve that connection with our like own cognitive thought.
The mental gymnastics is real.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like for someone who works with energy in the body, the best way back isn't a time management hack, but a physical reset.
Mm-hmm.
Something like a cold splash of water or a deep stretch to snap the brain out of that avoidant loop. What do you usually suggest to your clients when they're stuck in that mental fog?
Anything that brings your senses back into center with your body. If you're feeling very disassociated, then doing things that are associated with aligning your senses. And the cold water on the hands is very helpful. Stretching, breath work. If an individual does energy work, or if they do conscious work, then being aware of like how you feel in your body, where your attention is pulled, as far as where it feels like it's pulled away from you, or where you feel like disassociated from. Um, yeah.
The sensory stuff is like an anchor.
Mm,
And
very.
it's like we've been there before too. Like that 5 point sensory check we talked about with gratitude.
You're right.
I wonder if that same process can help with concentration or if it's something different when you're actually trying to zone in on a task.
Mhm. Yeah, I feel like it can help in, any moment of need to be able to bring your focus and clarity back in. And, whenever you need to clear out that brain fog that allows you to ground. Most individuals aren't going to relate to like grounding in the same sense. There's a lot of individuals out there that have more of a conscious awareness of energy and how it moves through your body and how it's associated with your thought process and how it connects you, like literally grounds you, because whenever you ground yourself, you are bringing yourself into focus. And that has a lot to do with the crown, and the crown moves through the mind, and energy clearing out the fogginess.
The idea of clearing that fog to actually find your center again is so potent.
Mhm.
I'm curious about the difference for someone who doesn't have that background. Do you think there's a simpler version of that grounding process for someone
Yeah,
who isn't as tuned into their energy movement?
yeah, and it all boils down to just bringing your sensory into alignment, and that's bringing your awareness into your body, and the breathing, and the touch, and maybe utilizing tools. There's a lot of different apps and things that you can use that can help you with that too, that are very quick, um, you know breathing exercises that can be used at, pretty much any time. It's something that.
I love that it all comes back to the body. It's like the brain is just a passenger until the body tells it where to look.
Mhm.
But since the goal is to build that concentration muscle, do you think the secret is in the grounding itself or in what happens the second you actually try to start the task?
Um, I feel like if an individual has avoidance issues with wanting to do it anyway, no matter what exercises you do, it's not going to help. So an individual has to focus on the avoidance and why they're avoiding, tasking to begin with, opposed to just jumping into improving the focus. Because if you can't recognize why you are in avoidance of something, then being able to, move into assisting it is going to be difficult.
Exactly. It's like trying to drive a car with the parking brake on, right? You can
Yes.
press the gas all you want, but the actual block is what's holding you back.
Mhm.
For the people listening, how do they figure out what that parking brake actually is? Like what's the tell that says this isn't a focus problem, is an avoidance problem?
Um, I think the very obvious is when somebody thinks repeatedly about doing something, but then they don't. So it's like a false start. Then that is the first sign.
The false start. That's a great tell. It's like you're revving the engine, but you never actually shift into gear.
Hmm.
For the people listening, that loop where you're thinking about the task but just can't launch is so relatable. Once they've spotted that false start,
Hmm.
what's the first thing they should actually do to break the cycle?
Um, I feel like they should just take a baby step. These are all like repetitive conversations that I feel like we've had before. The baby steps are very important.
They really are the golden rule, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's the reliable answer for a reason,
Hmm.
but I don't want to just circle back to things we've already covered.
Yeah.
Keep thinking about that phrase you used earlier, on purpose distraction.
Hmm.
The baby step gets the engine started, but
Hmm.
how do we actually handle those moments where we're actively choosing to look away from the work?
Yeah, you have to just become aware and you have to actively choose to see the actively not choosing part of it. That you,
That's a really honest, yeah, like calling yourself out in the moment. I wonder if for some people that moment of awareness feels like a relief or if it just adds another layer of guilt to the pile. Because sometimes when I realize I'm avoiding something, the calling myself out part can actually become its own distraction. Like I start
mm-hmm,
analyzing why I'm avoiding it instead of just doing the
instead of
thing.
just doing it.
Do you think there's a way to catch that avoidance without letting the analysis paralyze you?
Yeah. I
It's
guess
like the fine line, but right, that's the trap.
it depends on the
It's
individual and how deep it goes. Mhm.
That's the real challenge.
Yeah.
When someone's really buried in that cycle, what does that shift look like from a coaching perspective? Is it about digging into the why, or is there a way to bypass the depth altogether?
Yeah, I feel like there's a way to bypass it. You just have to start small, and you have to, focus on just building up into where you want to be, and you have to do it by baby steps, and maybe focus on something that's not so serious, and start with things that are a little less or a little more approachable.
That approach has served you so well in the past. For the listeners, how do they actually pick that approachable starting point? What's a good way to find a task that feels safe enough to start with, but still actually moves the needle?
Mm. Sometimes
Mm.
it's as simple as something like washing the dishes and doing the laundry.
They got me love for baby right. It's like you're just reminding the brain how to actually finish something. Wonder if that
What
win.
did you just sing, Maya?
Oh, sorry. I might have caught a bit of a musical rhythm in my head there.
No, it's okay.
I
It's
was just
serious.
My mistake. I'm not sure where that came from. Anyway, I was just saying that when you start with something like the dishes, it's like you're reminding the brain how to actually finish something.
Right.
It's a small win that builds a little momentum before you dive into the scary stuff.
Absolutely. All right, Miss
Exactly.
Maya, I am going to have to wrap up because I have to go join back in class in a few minutes. But I thank you very much for joining me today in this conversation. As always, we can dive deep in conversations every time we talk, so it's hard to keep these minimal to just 10 minutes sometimes. But I appreciate you joining me today.
It's always a pleasure. Go
You-
crush it in class. Rest up and feel better soon.
Thank you very much.
You're so welcome.
All right, guys, as always,
Anytime.
thank you for joining us today, and I hope you take away some wonderful growth and expansion from our conversation. And just remember to keep expanding those minds, hearts, and horizons. And until next time, namaste.
Namaste. Talk soon.
Bye. Bye.
Bye for now. Take care.